Oh, there we go. This thing is still crooked on my desk. I need a bigger desk. For those of you that are just coming in tonight, I did do a live earlier today, but I had to get off quickly. So I'm going to do another short one because I got a whatnot show that I got to attend. Hey, Jane Rice. Let me just set up the chat. There we go. Now let me pin that. Just give it a few moments for people to come in. Hey, Jewel Giacana. Let me set it up on my phone. Just make sure I can see all your messages. There we go. Yeah, I was here earlier, but I had to go. I had a grocery order coming and needed to be able to communicate with the shopper and try to have a little something to eat. But my stomach is still not great. Hey, I got a flow state. Wow, I just started. Hadn't even been on the air 2 minutes. Thank you so much, Kim. Welcome in. Where are you coming in from, my dear? Appreciate that. Let me tell you, all those penny jewels really add up. Oh, thanks for the thumbs up. You guys hit the red hearts, the thumbs up. Mississippi. My dad used to work in Mississippi. Haven't been there since the early 80s. But welcome in, Mississippi. Hey, Janice. Yeah, I did a show earlier today, and I watched it back. I actually sounded angry on that show. It's been a rough couple days here, but it was about the 3 YouTubers that got arrested out across the street from Nancy Guthrie's house. If you haven't seen it, you may want to watch that later on or whenever you have the time. This is kind of a part 2 because as soon as I got off the air and I handled what I needed to handle, I watched the Juice's video. He put out a video of what was basically, he was only there for like 10 minutes when all this went down. So it's a pretty short video that he put out. And, I'm going to wait for a few people to come in, but I think it's effing BS. Hey, Fizzy Smoky, where are you coming in from? Oh, wow, Rob. Uzbekistan? Wow. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. I know where it is, but I don't know how to pronounce it. But welcome in, Rob. That's awesome. What time is it in Uzbekistan? You're in America. North America, South America, Central America? Where are you located, Fizzy? Yeah, we always get a few new people that come in for the night crowd, but I don't usually go live at night. You're from South Korea? Hey, Tiffany. Tiffany Toronto. Are you in Toronto or are you in South Korea? Fizzy's from the USA. Hey, Humble Stacker, my friend. How you doing? When you can, Humble, check my email. Or, your email. I'm sorry. My email that I sent to you. Love this channel. Thank you. Mandy's Candy from the Gold community. You're in South Korea. Wow, Tiffany. It's Uzbek time. It's 11 a.m. right now. In South Korea? Yeah, check your email. I just, I can shoot you some postage money if I need to. Late night talks. Yeah, I'm not going to go too late because I want to watch a gold show from Alaska. that's coming on. It was supposed to come on at 7 my time, but now it's been bumped back to 8 my time. So I guess it's 7 Alaska time, 8 my time. So I just had to let everybody know that I watched the video. It wasn't very long of the arrest that happened yesterday across the street from Nancy Guthrie's home on the public easement. And it is effing BS. I think he was with 857 Tucson at the time. I haven't seen that person's video yet. Hey, Mrs. Alaska Assassin, welcome back. But I did see the Juice's video until, of course, he had to turn off his cameras and leave his personal belongings on the side of the road so that his girlfriend could come pick up his items as he was being carted off to jail. Janice is in South Carolina. That's where my cousin lives. So, yeah, like he had been there about 10 minutes when the police rolled up on him. And apparently they had come by before and waved and be like, hey, how you doing? And he didn't understand. He didn't argue with the police, but he stood his ground too, because he didn't understand. Like, after he got cited before, and he still has to go to court for that, they told him that he would be fine as long as he was on the public easement and that his feet or his belongings weren't touching the street. And so he was on the public easement. He was not in the street. And all of a sudden, supposedly there's a new law. Well, you can't just make a law. Like, even if you're a cop, even if you're the sheriff, you can't just make up a new law. It has to be passed by the legislator. You can't just make up a law. Now, he could, call it an order and say, okay, I order all the YouTubers out of the neighborhood because our 911 calls are blowing up and this has just become a three-ring circus and we don't want anybody in there. And if that's the case, which, by the way, I think their First Amendment rights are being violated, but if that's the case, they could have rolled up on those guys and said, hey, we just got the order. Here's a copy of it. And, we got to give you a few minutes to let you move. They even asked him, did you get a ride here? Do you have a car nearby? He said, no, I never drive here. I always get a ride. I get dropped off. And they were like, well, you better call somebody. So he called his girlfriend, but she didn't pick up right away. And he's like, hey, I'm being arrested. And I couldn't hear exactly what she was saying other than she did say right before they hung up that I love you, because he had to go so he could be put in handcuffs. And that wasn't shown on the video because he already had to shut down the phones, leave everything on the side of the road. And one of the cops offered to stay until she could get there and pick it up so that nobody would take it. But how do you go from just days before being told that it's perfectly fine to sit there as long as your feet are not on the pavement and you're not obstructing a thoroughfare, to, hey, we're arresting you because this is your second violation, when he wasn't violating anything? And then the guy that was with him, apparently he got cited. And I think that was Damien from 857 Tucson. Now, I'm still not aware as to why. Hey, welcome back, Kathy. I'm not aware as to why they then, I don't know if it was the same officers or a different officer. Well, I should say deputy, since it's the sheriff, went to Alex's home and arrested him. So I know that the Juice and Alex were both in the slammer last night in Tucson. I don't understand how this could have happened when the Juice had been told it was fine as long as you're on the public easement and you're not blocking or touching the road. No, I don't. So I'm going to have to take you out. See you in 24 hours. So, oh boy. The night crowd always brings in the weirdos. But for the few people that are actually watching, yeah, I did see the clip. It's on DeJuice's channel. I don't understand what happened. if something had changed and there was a new order by the sheriff, they should have at least been told and had the opportunity to pack their things and leave. Of course, he would have had to wait for his ride. And, he couldn't get a hold of his girlfriend right away because she had just left. She was on her way somewhere else. And I don't know if she was, excuse me, at work. I'm losing my voice because second live stream of the night. And my diet root beer that I just ordered that took a week to get here from New Jersey, it's empty. So, here's a water in front of me that's half drank. Let me drink this. Shouldn't drink that diet root beer anyway, but I haven't had it in so long. And then when I got my grocery order, instead of getting the vitamin water zero, they packed the regular vitamin water, which it turned out that was my fault. So I got to go down to the store tomorrow and try to exchange that and straighten that out. Like, I'm so tired of living dollar to dollar. I would just like to say F it and donate it to one of the free groups on Facebook. Like, hey, come, you need some drinks, come pick it up. You can have the Zevia too. So I don't understand who, because it was conflicting report. I read that this Damien guy was getting charged for the urination, but then apparently he wasn't. He was getting charged for doing the same thing the Juice was doing, but it was a first offense, so therefore he wasn't cuffed. But then Alex, they went to his home and cuffed him. So I think there's too many conflicting reports as to who did what, but it was the Juice and 857 Tucson, uh, I believe, that were sitting together. But I wasn't watching the other one stream. I watched the replay of the Juice's stream, which wasn't very long because he had just got out there. He just got out there. And right before they pulled up, some lady pulled up in an SUV and said something to him out the window. I guess threatened him that they were going to come get him or something. And they were right behind her. I don't know if anybody else here has seen these clips, but I'm glad he's got a lawyer. I'm glad that, the other YouTubers or the followers, the subscribers, sent whomever the money to bail them both out. Janice, the Juice is really respectful when he is out there. He's the only one I watch, no cussing and really nice. Yeah, you should have seen my video the other day because I got very upset and was cussing up a storm. And I don't normally do that live. But, sorry, not sorry for that particular episode. So far, YouTube hasn't bit me in the butt for it. So yeah, I don't have time to watch all these other YouTubers. But when something big happens, then if somebody sends me the clip or someone says, here's the link and go back to this time and date, then I'll go take a look at it because it's a big topic of discussion. But it shouldn't have to be, because the Pima County Sheriff's Department should be spending their time trying to find Nancy Guthrie. That's what this is about. This is day number 129. In a few more hours, 4.5 hours, it'll be day 130. We're already into the 9th, almost 10th day of the 5th month. So that would be today, 4 months and 9 days, 129 days. Like, I can't even believe it. Like, we need to find Nancy. We need to know who did this. We need to focus on the evidence and the crime and the tip lines and where she might be. There's a big reward. You could be up for a reward if you have the tip that's going to lead to an arrest in the Nancy Guthrie kidnapping case. I don't personally think that she's still alive, and I would like to hope that she is, but, truthfully, I think if somebody thinks she's still alive, they're living in a dream world. I, I don't even know if her remains will ever be found. They may have to find who did this and prosecute someone or multiple someones without a body if they never are able to find her. I hope they do find, even if she is gone, I hope they find her, because the body will be the number one piece of physical evidence, even though it's months later. And, they still should have had the boots on the ground from week one looking for her. Not just looking in the neighborhood, but they should have thrown the net a little further than the neighborhood and they should have had the dogs and the drones and, the cadaver dogs, and they just had the border patrol dogs over at her house, like, the night after the crime for a few hours. That was it. But they never went out and searched her or searched for her in the neighborhood or in the surrounding desert, which, they might have got lucky, especially if something happened to her and, they had to get rid of a body quickly that they weren't planning on getting rid of, because I don't think they would have uh, unalived her in her house and then bothered to take a body with them. The sheriff is making his own rules. Yeah, yeah, you can't just change. He's not. He can't just change the law at his own discretion. Sandy. When Juice got cited the first time, they neglected to tell him not to return. That's why they arrested him for returning. They told him he was fine as long as he was on the easement. They need to sue nonads. Probably. That's a good idea. I'm fully supportive of the Juice. And remember, I have fought crime for 42 years, and I'm not soft on crime. I'm hard on crime. And I don't think that this man has committed any crimes whatsoever. The Stoic Man, you need to watch my suspect video over on the video tab. Go to the video tab of my main YouTube page, and my channel page. Click the video tab and see the suspect video. Nancy Wheeler? Nope. Are you a minor? No, this isn't Stranger Things. Yeah, no, don't worry about it, Kathy. I got it. I have to learn to do this on my own. I'm getting there. Mustasir Habib. Where are you located? He says it's good morning wherever he is. Mudasir. Yeah, don't worry about it, Kathy. Just sit back and enjoy the show. Um, yeah, Kathy, time out. Don't worry about it. But like, it's okay. Uh, if I see it and I need to take it out, I will. If I don't, they get a free pass. Yes, Sue Yellen. I like that, Janice. Sue Yellen needs to be arrested for being so mean and hateful. I don't think they will find her ever. It's a shame. Um, well, I wouldn't arrest her for being mean and hateful, but I would definitely charge her for speeding towards them with a car, which is a deadly weapon, and even, threatening to run them over. Um, and she should be charged for 2 counts because there was 2 YouTubers there when that happened, and that's on tape. It's on video. There is no tape or film anymore. Everything is digital these days. No, I'm not going to repeat your name. And JP Donald, we have to take you out. Thank you. Thank you for coming. I'll see you in 24 hours. Hey, Cali Girl on Fire, welcome back. Your green screen is yeah, that's because my lamp is behind me. It doesn't glitch during the day, but it glitches at night. But that's a YouTube issue. As is sometimes the mic is crackling, or when the film first comes on or the video first comes on. It was a little blurry earlier on the last one, and I'm like, it wasn't blurry on my end. So there are various YouTube issues sometimes, but sometimes it is my fault. uh, what is my theory on Nancy? You'd have to see the 115 or 16 videos that I've done since February 2nd. It's revenge or money, it's the Savannah factor, or it's somebody close to her. End of story. I don't think it's just some random stranger that just walked into a multi-million-dollar neighborhood, knowing where all the cameras were and which security systems she had or didn't have, and then went into her house for at least 41 minutes and took her away, drug her out of her bed. She was targeted. Iffy, Cali girl. I'm getting there, but I'm not well still. But thank you for asking. Uh, Now, how soon until the FBI gets that DNA sample that they've put into the lab, the rootless hair? I don't know. Hopefully, there's more than just. I hope I've said this before. I don't want the case to hedge on one rootless hair sample. Um, I'm getting more negative about will she be found. I'm still positive that they're going to catch somebody because this is such a big case. This is a worldwide case. They have to solve this case. But will they ever find Nancy? I'm not so sure. And I wish I could say that they would because I would really like family to know where she is, even though the worst has probably happened, and be able to have some sort of memorial service for her and have closure. Remember, it's going to be hard to declare somebody deceased when they don't know where she's at. It's gonna be I'm trying to get this moved so the lamp doesn't keep doing that. It's gonna be harder to prosecute somebody without a body, but not impossible, especially with an 84-year-old woman, because they can say, well, she, fell down and hit her head, and that's why she was bleeding, and she walked away from her home. But, there's a guy wearing a ski mask at her front door right before her pacemaker, well, 40 some minutes before her pacemaker unsynced. And the same looking man wearing the same looking clothes and ski mask was also there on approximately January the 11th. Neighbors also reported seeing a white van in the neighborhood, but I guess nobody called the cops or they were too darn busy to come out. Now they practically live in that neighborhood, not because they're looking for Nancy, but because, they're harassing the YouTubers. I just think that entire police department are scumbags. But yet I'm sure there's some good officers there or deputies that are probably ashamed right now that they are employed by Pima County. That law enforcement agency is a laughing stock. And there probably is corruption within that department. I can't say for sure, but I would suspect that there is. And it may go further than the police department. Hopefully, the corruption doesn't go all the way to the DA's office and some of the county employees. Who knows? That's a messed up town. I don't think I'd ever want to live there now, knowing all this is going on there, and this is how the police has, you know, responded or their lack of response. Before Nancy, she lived there since 1975. That was her home. She loved it. And, I don't think she wanted to go to a nursing home or an assisted living facility. She wanted to stay in her house. And I understand that. Yeah, I see you, Kathy. It was cold that night. We have a simple kind of gal who is a friend of Savannah's that lives in Nancy's neighborhood that came in and said that it was cold that night. And apparently, they don't think that she took any of her clothes. Like maybe she was just in her pajamas. Welcome back, handsome man from the land down under. Yes, you did. I had to watch the juice video of him being arrested. Now, of course, the cameras were turned off, on his end before they put the cuffs on, but apparently they did. I don't know if the other guy was still filming that. I'll have to go look at his video. Why wouldn't I wanna live there? I just hear there's a lot of high crime there because of its close proximity to the Mexican border. It's right, close to a major crossing, the Port of Nogales in Sonora, Mexico. There's a lot of bad things going on in that town. A lot of high crime. Uh, 1975, good pop songs, Bay City Rollers, ABBA, Mamma Mia. Yeah, that's how long she's lived in the neighborhood. I mean, Savannah, she was like maybe 4 years old or something when she moved into that neighborhood. Yeah, it probably is on film, Cali Girl, by the other girl or the other guy, 857 Tucson that was there. But I just saw the DeJuice video. I mean, he had to turn off his phones because they were getting ready to hook him up and put him in the police car. ICE is everywhere, I believe. That doesn't mean that it's not high crime. But we have a viewer in here who lives in that neighborhood, and it's a very lovely neighborhood. If you see my last long form content video, on the exit, you can see, well, the outro, you can see. So I put in some drone shots of the Tucson desert. Janice says, I prefer being down south. Been there, done that. Not my choice. I mean, if I was from there, it would probably be nice, but I'm a Cali girl, so it wasn't my cup of tea. But Alabama, Mississippi, they're pretty beautiful places. Oh, Cali Girl on Fire says, I'm a Cali girl through and through. Yeah, I've been a Cali girl since I was age 1. Janice says, born and raised. Tucson are big houses for the rich people. How the drug addicts manage to stay there. I'm not familiar with the rest of Tucson. I'm just now familiar with the Catalina foothills. And that's some highfalutin property. But it's sad, and I think she had a false sense of security there. And I think, you can always say coulda, shoulda, woulda, but shoulda had more security than what she had. But, they've never said what security she had inside the house. But somebody who came in and did this or who was involved in this, whether they were actually at the scene of the crime or they were just the ringleaders of this crime, had intimate knowledge of the cameras, the locations, the lack of alarm or whatever systems she did or didn't have, and how to get around them. I wish I would hear that they got some sort of video of her inside the house. I wish there were cameras all over the place watching her just because she's an 84-year-old woman. But sounds like maybe there wasn't. How Handsome said, I should have taken her on Qantas to my home and looked after her. Yeah, I would do anything for her, and I don't even know her. Christy, hey, this is part 2 from the earlier video. I'm watching a whatnot from Alaska in like 15 minutes, so I just wanted to come on really quick. That's why I set a really short goal. But welcome in, Christy. If you want to catch up, just watch the earlier video, and then you can see the beginning of this video. Cali Girl says 857 Tucson, but his phone quit during the arrest and Juice's phone was off. Yeah, he was getting ready to go to jail, so he had to like turn off his phones. And uh, Nancy's a good mother and Christian. Yes, she is a good mother, I think. And I think she's probably a fabulous grandmother too. And there's still little things that are bugging me now, like who's White Tesla guy? I think he's somebody hired by the family that has access to the home, obviously. He could be a security person, or some type of a vendor. Uh, who's getting the mail? Where's Annie and Tommaso? When Annie and Tommaso originally came out of their house looking like they were deceptive, deceitful, and shameful, hiding their faces, where was their child? Supposedly they have a young son together. Where was he when they came out of that house all those months ago? Never saw him anywhere. Was he going to school? Was Tommaso working before this happened? Was he not? Oh, is the juice ever going back to Nancy's area? Well, I hope not. Not right now. The rumor is security, but just a rumor. Yeah, I was thinking something like that. And I wonder if that's the same white Tesla that's been seen driving back and forth down the street, but doesn't always stop at the house, or if that's a different white Tesla. Because here in California, there's white Teslas, you know, everywhere. Because I know there is a white Tesla that drives up and down her street, but I don't know if that's the same white Tesla that's been pulling over, removing the chain and then driving into her driveway. A&T or MIA, you never hear about their son. Yeah, I know. Why is that? Because I heard that he's a minor. I suppose either one of them could have an older child from a prior relationship or a prior marriage, but where is their son? But Cameron's girls, they're not so young either. They're like in their 20s now. So they may not even live with him. They may be off at college or something. And I even heard the kid's what his name was, but I wouldn't say it here because, I'm not going to give out the name of a minor. Oh, okay, Christy. Yeah, I saw that. White Tesla guy was there yesterday doing something to a camera on the roof. I thought so, Janice. T has an older son in Italy from another mother. If I were them, I'd ship him to safety to T's parents until the perp is caught. Yeah, they might have already sent him off somewhere. I know that when Savannah was out there and she was staying with them, but not at their house, they were having to move around because they were being watched. And that's not a comfortable feeling. But 80% of the world thinks that they're either guilty or they're somehow connected to this. And I'm not saying that. Everybody here on my channel is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Even if someone is arrested in this case, they're not guilty until a judge or a jury says that. But 80% of the people think that they're guilty. So I'm sure they've probably got some threats. No, I don't mention minors' names. This isn't a kids channel. Now, if a child wants to watch and they have permission from their parents, there's nothing I can do about it. I can't be the YouTube police. Yeah, I thought that she might have an older child from her first marriage because she was known as Annie Guthrie Pierce, but I don't know. Savannah's children, they're minors, and I'm sure they're very well protected right now. At least I hope they are, considering what's happened to Nancy Guthrie, and we don't know who did it and why. We still don't know the who, what, where, when, and why, or how. All we know is that she's gone and somebody took her. Yeah, we also heard from YouTubers that Savannah had hired all these PIs, but that might not be true. And even if it is true, nobody would know that. Poor Savannah. I heard more of what she said yesterday. I played that part of that interview back, at least the clip that I had. And, but there's more to it. And she said that she cries every day on her drive to work, and she cries every day on her ride from work. It's very sad. I'm very sad for Savannah. I know. Handsome. I know. My heart just breaks for her. No, I'd heard that too about that he had an older son, but I'm not sure about her. and supposedly their child together is a son, but he's a minor. But I've never seen him since this happened. And, they've been laying pretty low themselves. But when they did come out, instead of, trying to make a statement and saying, please, please help us find our mother, they hid like cowards. And I don't know why that is. What are they ashamed of? I've been a detective for 42 years. I can read body language like that. I can see somebody on television and go, that's the one. That's the problem person. That's the security person that's going to compromise everything. I have it. And I don't like their body language, but I'm not saying that they're involved in this crime. I know, she was born in Melbourne. Cali Girl says YouTube, unless it's law enforcement or a PI or former LA, is for entertainment only and not for answers, in my opinion. Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, where are Annie and Tommaso? Where's their child? Is it true that Tommaso had not been working the entire 25-26 school year, even prior to the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie? Christy said one of their neighbors was live on a stream the other night and he said they had not been home. That's what I'm hearing. It'd probably be a lot safer in Melbourne, wouldn't it? But, who knew this was going to happen? The odds of something like this happening are probably less than 1,000,000 to 1. Or I should say less than 1 in a million. If Savannah had known something like this was going to happen, she would have done everything in her power to prevent it and keep her mother safe. Thank you, Cali Girl on Fire. I doubt it, but maybe, you never know. Maybe they've gone to Melbourne. Supposedly they didn't have any money though. But they were seen taking some boxes out of the mother's house. I would love to know, love to be a fly on the wall and see what they took. Yeah, she's heard, Janice has heard they have not been home in a while. Yeah, where are they? Who's paying the mortgage? Who's paying their property taxes? They got the money from the perp. We don't know what's happened here. The who, what, when, where, why, and how. We don't know. I just know that she didn't, on her own, walk out of that house. Nanos is paying. You never know. Supposedly he has money issues too. Why do you think he's still his age and he's still working, full time? Most people of his age would be retired, especially law enforcement. They have a very good pension. It's all cray cray. Yep. Nanos also stressed and needed holiday to Melbourne. Let's go. Let's go to the land down under. If I were younger, I could pack my metal detector. I'd love to go on the Australia Gold Coast and do a little treasure hunting. So I got less than 5 minutes before I have to be off here. Can I set a 5-minute gift goal? Is that possible? Oh, the smallest one I can set is 15 minutes. Uh, but you're there. It's so nice having my Australian friends come in. We also get people in here from New Zealand. Actually, we get people here from all over the world. But yeah, I just wanted to come back on the air and say that I saw the video and it's effing BS. But I'm not going to curse. Was yesterday's arrest legal? You mean the one that just happened yesterday? I'd have to know more, but it doesn't look like it. I mean, if there was an order, there was an order, but the cops should have come and told them, like, hey, we have a new order from Sheriff Nanos, and you have so many minutes to leave the premises. Because how would they know? They just got there and were setting up equipment, and boom, they got nailed. Yeah, I don't travel anymore either, Janice, because I'm in the hospital all the time and have to be near my hospital and my doctors, and I have to take care of my girls, and I'm on a limited income. Oh, I wanted to tell you guys this. I know this is going to sound weird. Oh my gosh, I forgot to mention it in this afternoon's video. I can't remember the name of the channel. I'll have to look it up. But sometimes late at night, especially when I wasn't feeling well, and then last night I could actually sleep on the right side without, everything moving until I stood up. I saw a lady, and she had something that resembled a spirit box, but it was like a smaller one. And instead of it connecting to radio signals and spitting out words, it was just a little like square or rectangular box. She had it like on a table, and she had like an overhead camera. She had a candle. She had a flashlight about this size. And wherever she's located, there was a horrible windstorm going on. So as she's doing this creepy, creepy reading, you can hear woo. Flow state. Who sent that? Oh my gosh. Everybody welcome in Brenda, my cousin Brenda. I have 3 minutes to be out the air, Brenda. Thank you for the flow state, my dear. How you doing? Say hello to Brian. So I'm listening to this lady with this little box, and you can hear the wind, woo, like a haunted house. And it was so eerie, but instead of it being like the spirit box that's going through, the radio signals over and over and over, and it's pulling out words, it would just print out words on the screen. She would ask it a question, and it wouldn't answer her directly, but like different words or different phrases were coming out. And I looked those up on Amazon, and they don't have any. But apparently there are other online platforms that you can buy one of those machines, but it would be close to 300 bucks. In fact, with the taxes, it might actually be like $300. And I don't have an extra $300. But I wish it was on Amazon, and I could put that on my wish list, because even though I don't really believe in stuff like that, and I wouldn't be able to do it live, I'd have to do it in a long form content video. And I don't even have a kitchen table, but I have a coffee table and I have a desk. So I could just get some type of overhead camera, point it down at the desk, and you could see this woman's hands, and she had all these nice rings on, very pretty nails, and she had her little crystals, which I understand that because, they bring healing energy. So she had her little heart-shaped crystals, she had her little pyramid crystals, she had her flashlight, she had a candle, and then she had this little box, and she would ask it things, and then it would respond. And I was like, wouldn't that be fun for me to make a list, a whole list of things I would ask Nancy if I could. If I could cross over to the other side and say, okay, Nancy, I want to interview you. And this is what I want to know about what happened to you. And it would be for entertainment purposes only, because I'm not a psychic medium. I mean, sometimes my crystal ball is pretty good in my PI career, but sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So I am not a medium of any kind. I'm not a psychic of any kind. But would you guys, if I could ever, if I came into an extra 300 smackers and I bought this box and I did a video, how many of you would watch it? Because that video would have to blow up, and I'd have to get the super thanks, because I get the super chats here quite a bit, actually. I haven't in the last day or so, but I don't get a lot of the super thanks on the long form video. And unless, tens of thousands of people watch it, it's not going to make any money, not enough to pay for the box. But if I had a box like that and I wanted to make a video, but I'd be, serious about it, it's not ha ha funny, but let's do this and see what happens. Would anybody be interested? Just let me know. Uh, Janice says, I don't watch those anymore. It's the devil's work. You'd probably get the same from the Ghost app, and it's free. Oh, okay. Uh, you would watch as long as I was speaking to Nancy. Yeah, I don't wanna, like, bring in bad vibes, like, or bad energy like a Ouija board or something like that. Those are supposed to stay out of your house. Um, you got a whatnot delivery today. I wonder from who? Give me a review and a 5 star. I have all 5-star reviews, Kathy. But most people on Whatnot, they don't bother. And I still haven't heard from my Whatnotter. And I have something very special that's supposed to come. And we're going on the second day now, and I don't have one notice that it's in the mail. And that's really upsetting to me. Oh, it wasn't me. Okay. Well, when you get it, whenever it comes. Um, so how you doing, cousin Brenda, if you're still here? Thank you so much, honey, for the flow state. Every one of those penny jewels helps tremendously. I did get the groceries, but I had some sliced cheese and it was smashed, and they have refunded me for that. And the vitamin water zero that I ordered, I accidentally clicked the one that wasn't the zero because I have not been well the last couple of days, so I will have to drive that back to the store, show my online receipt, and try to get those exchanged tomorrow. uh, but yeah, if you didn't see the afternoon video, go watch it. If you didn't see the beginning of this video, go watch it. But I think what happened to the juice, um, real name Troy. I think it's Troy Lewis Bradshaw. I think it's a crime. I think that first infraction that he was charged with, I think that was a racist police officer. Um, I think he'll get off for that. I need to know more about this, but these YouTubers didn't know that Nanos just decided to create a law, and you can't just do that. You can't just create the law and then nobody knows, and they just got there on scene, and they're setting up their equipment, and they're just starting to film, and then some lady pulls up in a car like, "Oh, they're gonna get you," and right behind her as she leaves, here come the cops, and he was shocked when they said they were there to arrest him and that he was going to jail. Oh, it's definitely not right, Christy, and he's gotta be one of the nicest of all the YouTubers that I've seen out there, and they did not tell him that he couldn't go back. In fact, he was told if as long as he was behind the line and he was on the public easement, he was fine. Uh, Nanos was upset Juice is doing well with subscribers, so he sent his crew to stop them. I don't know what the reason for it is, but I know through the generosity of Exploring with Jim, they have found him a good attorney well, I hope he's a good attorney. They found him a attorney who is going to work the case pro bono. Now, I don't know about the most recent one, but my heart is with the Juice, and I fully support him. And if you haven't seen the petition on my YouTube community post, the change.org petition to have the charges on the first case dropped, if you feel passionate enough about it, go sign it and share that with your friends. Uh, Good thing he has it on his live both times. Yeah. And he handled himself really well, I think. But it had to be a shocker. I feel bad for him. It's not fair. Life isn't fair. And hopefully this neighbor who is doing bad things, that maybe she's going to have some charges coming her way. This is just such a colossal waste of time of the court system and the taxpayers' dollars. Do what you need to be doing. The Nancy Guthrie case, as far as Pima County Sheriff's, it was wrapped in the first 20 or 30 hours, and it's just, FBI couldn't come in until day 5, and There's no way to backpedal from those early mistakes. I think of her too, handsome. I think of the beautiful Miss Linda Gray. I did a gig years ago with her son-in-law, and I've seen Linda Gray. I love Linda Gray. She's just got really good mom vibes. Well, everybody, I am 6 minutes late to my show in Alaska. Thank you for everybody that came to this very impromptu show, and, please give it a thumbs up, share the video, make sure you're subscribed, and, Linda Gray was a hot-looking woman in Dallas. Linda Gray is old enough to be my mom. She has kids my age. Well, sadly, one of her kids, I think it was during the time I had my breast cancer, one of her kids passed away. Um, yeah. I just love Linda Gray, though. Uh, Thanks for coming back, Kathy. And I am gonna try to, like, mod this thing myself. I've gotta, I gotta get quicker and better, but, sometimes the negative comments do slip through, or I just decide to let it go. So you don't need to tell me every 5 minutes, like I know. Like, if we can't take everybody out, we can't just have the trigger going boom, 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 or there will be nobody left to watch. Remember, I only have 3,000 subscribers. I'm a very small YouTuber. It took 5 years and 5 months. That's not success. That's a miserable failure. So I'm not going to be quick to like take people out. Uh, Oh, I saw the game. It was, like 12-2 or something, or 12-3, but I'm gonna go watch a whatnot from, Southeast Alaska. So everybody, have a good night.